This video was supposed to be the start of a big astrophotography gear series. I had episodes planned, thumbnails, titles, everything. But every time I tried to make it, something felt wrong. There are plenty of gear videos out there. The problem isn't information. It's the power and meaning we attach to the gear itself. It's about the lies we fall for and the ones I fell for too. My name is Tim, this is Cosmic Captures, and this is the video I wish someone had made for me when I started. And if you stay with me until the end, I will tell you the lie I still struggle with. The one that forced me to rethink my entire relationship with gear. So let's go through them one by one, the 5 lies that shaped my journey. But to understand them, I need to bring you back to the beginning. Four years ago, I bought my first astrophotography rig. And when it arrived, I had an incredible amount of fun testing and taking my first image. It felt like magic. I took more images and they got better. But pretty quickly something shifted. I started watching every YouTube video, reading every forum, comparing every spec sheet, asking myself, what else do I need? Then came the next upgrade, and the next. One telescope turned into 5, cameras, filters, reducers, cables, half essentials and half shiny distractions. At first step was fun, but then it became exhausting, because every clear night turned into a battle of choices. What do I set up? What do I test? And what do I need to fix? And it took me years and a small mountain of gear to realize something important. The problem wasn't the equipment. It was the beliefs I had about what gear was supposed to do for me. And before we go on, here's why this matters to me. I am not making this video to complain about gear. I love gear, but I'm making it because I love this hobby too much to watch people, including myself, get discouraged by the wrong things. Because the universe is simply too beautiful to let gear get in the way. So let's go. On paper, this lie makes sense. Sharper stars, cleaner data and longer exposures. But none of it matters if I don't know how to use it, or if I don't actually go out and use it. Take my Red Cat 51 as an example. A highly regarded scope for many years. And now every few months another video appears, this new scope kills the Red Cat. And suddenly a perfectly good telescope feels obsolete. And that's a strange thing here on YouTube. Everything has to defeat or destroy something just to earn our attention. That's total nonsense, because almost any telescope, camera and mount from the last decade can produce beautiful images. And if I cannot make a good image with something that's already good, a better one won't magically fix that. There will always be something newer, sharper and faster. We cannot win that game. And bigger is better, it's also a lie, because bigger means it's heavier, it's slower and it's more frustrating. This here is my biggest telescope. It looks impressive, right? Except I secretly call it the hobby killer. Because no matter how motivated I am right now, there will always come a night when its weight and complexity will be too much. The truth is, the gear that gets used more often always wins. And the gear that's fun to use wins even more. Because a small telescope under a clear sky beats a large one sitting in a case every time. Which brings me to the next lie, the one that convinced me that gear could solve everything. I've told myself this lie more often than I'd like to admit. Bad guiding, I need a better mount. Noisy images, I need a better camera. Sometimes upgrades help, but most of the time, the real problem is me, my lack of knowledge, patience, or understanding. Even the newest light pollution filter will not erase a full city of LED lights. And no new camera will fix cloudy skies, poor planning, or rushing through the process at 2 in the morning. The highest praise I can give gear is that it becomes invisible, that it just works and I don't have to think about it. Because the less friction under a dark sky, the better. And here's what I've learned the hard way. That only happens when I get familiar with my gear, when I use the same setup long enough that it feels like an extension of me. When I keep swapping gear and chasing the next upgrade, I'm not speeding up, I'm resetting. Because a new telescope means new challenges, a new camera means a new learning curve, a new mount means new quirks. So instead of building confidence, I'm building confusion. Sure, the right gear can make a huge difference. It can make nights easier, but it can't make me better. That part is on me. That makes me wonder, what do you wish you hadn't bought? And what's something you wish you had discovered sooner? Which leads me straight into the next lie, the one that feeds many regrets we have. This one feels like progress, and it's so seductive. You click buy now, and it instantly feels like you're moving forward. It's so alluring because it's much easier than setting up when it's cold and you're already tired. But when we fall for it, we're only delaying the work. I kept thinking, once I get this camera, my images will finally look good. They didn't change much because I was the same. That jump from 12 to 16-bit sounds huge, but learning how to process my data made a far bigger difference. I don't get ready by buying new things. I get ready by using what I already have. Because skill doesn't come from the checkout page, and there are no quick fixes in this hobby. The next lie is what we get when we mix that impatience with social media. This feels especially true when you scroll Instagram or Astrobin. You see incredible images and think, oh, of course their work looks amazing. Look at their setup. But that's not why their images are good. Most of them started simple. They learned to squeeze every drop of performance out of basic gear. Take Andrew McCarthy. He began from his backyard with a basic DSLR and a cheap telescope. Nothing special. What made the difference wasn't the equipment, it was showing up, curiosity, consistency, and stubborn dedication. That's what scales. And since we're talking about social media, if I define my worth by likes and follower accounts, I've already lost the game. Not because recognition is bad, but because those numbers say nothing about my curiosity, my personal progress, and the joy I feel under a clear sky. Sure, I can look at images online and be inspired, but measuring myself against them only leads to frustration. And that brings me to the hardest lie of all, the one that still gets me today. There it is, the mother of all lies, and I still fall for it sometimes. Because it's partly true, better gear can help, but it took me 4 years to see the deeper truth. My gear has always been better than me, more capable than I am skilled. It has never been gear holding me back. It was always the lack of opportunity and experience. And in astrophotography, opportunity comes with clear skies. But I still have to show up for them. I can spend a truckload of money on gear, but if it only sees starlight on a few nights a year, the bottleneck isn't the gear. And this reflection leads to something else I eventually learned. Buying, operating and mastering gear is only a small part of the journey. Because every good image starts long before you press the shutter. It starts with an idea, a sense of what you want to show, a vision you're trying to reach for. And that's a skill you cannot buy. You have to grow it. The technical part, learning the menus, the settings, that is the easy part. The real magic happens after the photons hit the sensor in post-processing, where raw data becomes something meaningful. The images coming from your gear are like rough gems. They look dull, they look flat until you learn how to make them shine. And the best part? I don't even need to own a telescope to learn that. Just good data and curiosity. And I should also say this, I am not against gear videos. I've learned so much from the creators who test tools and share what is possible. I'm incredibly grateful for that. But speaking honestly, in my little YouTube bubble, the gear hype can feel overwhelming sometimes. And I've noticed how easy I get pulled into it. How I quickly start thinking more about upgrades than about the simple joy of being under the stars. And I don't want to slip into that mindset anymore. We all get into astrophotography for different reasons. The technology, the science, the art, the peace. And yeah, sometimes simply because we love gear. And there's nothing wrong with that. Buying something that makes your nights easier and more enjoyable can be a great decision. And there's still so much potential hiding in older, outdated gear. We live in an incredible time with incredible tools. We have dedicated astro rigs, we have smart telescopes, and everything in between. It has never been easier to capture the night sky. And today, almost anyone can do it, even on a tight budget. Gear matters. Of course it does. You cannot photograph the Orion Nebula with a potato.
Yes, I think I got it.
But gear alone isn't what makes the experience meaningful. Because at the end of the night, every telescope, every camera, and every filter, they are just tools. They don't make the image. We still do. And every night under the stars reminds me that the best investments I've ever made are the ones that let me go out and see for myself.
Oh no. It's underexposed. I knew I should have gotten the bigger model.